1960s, mid-1960s, I went to high school, and my high school had a folk music club. And so I got into all different types of music, everything from Dylan to B.B. King and all that stuff. And in 1965, I believe it was, the Rolling Stones made their first appearance in the United States. And they were on a TV show called Shindig. And they said, we'd like to bring out someone who's been a great influence on us. And this big, burly black guy comes out and goes, ow, and starts playing harmonica. And it was Howlin' Wolf. But we were watching in my living room, and I jumped up and said, I want to do that. I want to do that. So my next birthday, my dad gave me a grab bag, and one of the things in it was a harmonica. So I had the folk music club, and I was just, trying to learn to play harmonica. There's this harmonica player named Tony Little Son Glover, played with John Kerner, and he wrote a book called Blues Harmonica, so I studied that book. And Philly had a great music scene, so a lot of musicians came around. One of my all-time favorite musicians was James Cotton. He was a harmonica player and singer, played with Muddy Waters, played with everybody, led his own band. And he was playing at the second fret, which used to be at 19th and Sansom. So I was like 17 years old, and I'd go to the fret to hear James, and I knew where the backstage was, so I'd go backstage, and I knock on the door, and I said, excuse me, Mr. Cotton, my name is John, and I just started playing harmonica. Now I was wondering if you could show me something. He said, come on in, kid. And so she showed me some things, and I met a lot of different musicians and all that. So I've been playing since about 1966, 1967. The blues is a combination of musics that come from Africa, has its roots and things in Africa, but it's also a product of the slavery, a product of the interaction of all the different cultures in the United States. Most people don't realize that the banjo is an African instrument, the bonjour. It's an African instrument, but that shows how things have mixed. The guitar is a European instrument. So when people think of blues, they think of B.B. King, Buddy Guy, blues guitarists, and all that type of stuff. So we took it and made it ourselves. We combined some things from Africa, combined some things from what we heard around us, and made it our own thing. And before recorded blues, people would go to juke joints or house parties and all that type of stuff, and people would hear different types of things, and it would just spread in different styles. Mississippi Delta style, a lot of slide guitar, a lot of rhythm stuff, Piedmont style, Virginia finger-picking guitar, Texas West Coast blues, swing, and all that stuff. So they're all different types of styles. I love them all. Well, some people would say it started in the Mississippi Delta. Some people would say, no, it started in Louisiana. It started wherever there were black people, gatherings of black people, so it started in the South. And different styles took over in different places, partly dependent upon what European music was around also. because musicians, African American musicians, in addition to playing their own stuff, they would have to play music for, you know, the masters and their gatherings and all that stuff. So I started in the South, and it mixed all different types of things together, from Irish music, religious music. So it's a really great thing. Blues is songs about life. You know, my baby left me, I got to pay my rent, and all that type of stuff. But it's not sad music. A lot of people have the idea that blues is depressing music. And like, why would I go after a hard day of work and hear depressing music? You know, it's not depressing music. It's a way of dealing with what's going on and getting out and celebrating and being together. Like, you know, people, you know, you go to a blues club, people are dancing. You know, people are happy, people are singing along and all that type of stuff. It's not a depressing music.
My telephone keep ringing. No, it sounds like a long distance call. I hear my telephone ringing. Lord, it sounds like a long distance call.
Songs would mean different things. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Gonna Carry Me Home. That would talk about, okay, we're planning an escape and we're going to be doing that soon. Or Follow the Drinking Gourd, Follow the Drinking Gourd. When the old man comes to carry you to freedom, follow the drinking gourd. The drinking gourd is the North Star. And so the whole idea of that song was an escape is being planned, and you need to stay on the north, keep the, you know, to the north, so you know that you're headed away. There you can come across people on the Underground Railroad, so-called Underground Railroad, who would help you escape and all that. So yeah, there are all different types of secret meanings. There were meanings in which you could, you know, curse out your master without him realizing you were cursing him out, or your boss, or what have you. Yeah, it's its own language. Blues happens everywhere there are African American people. You know, there were urban slaves, you know, as well, you know, working on the docks, working in houses, you know, maids, domestic people. So, yeah, Philadelphia had a lively slave population, but Philadelphia also had an incredible free black population as well. And that's a fascinating story to look at.
I got into the blues in the 60s, and there was a lot of blues influence in all kinds of music, whether it was rock or straight blues, and it was once I got the feel for it, I never turned back. It's an inner feeling you have about the love of it and the feel of it, and there's a lot of depth and passion, even though it's somewhat simplistic compared to like jazz or some rock and roll stuff. So rhythm and blues, jazz, doo-wop, blues is at the core of all of that. When you listen to all of those great styles of music, to me, to my ears, it all goes back to the original blues. So yeah, I wrote Daddy about 20 years ago and put it on my second CD release. A lot of people come and talk to me about that song because I guess I tapped into an emotion for myself that other people can relate to. And you know, it's about the loss of your father. Kind of reflective about that sadness, that melancholy feeling, you know, the things you did. That's one little thing that you leave with somebody, that's good enough for me. You know, that's how I feel, you know. Oh, my daddy, why'd you have to go? Oh, my daddy, why'd you have to go? It's been 25 years. Oh, I miss you so. I wrote a very simple song called Shake It. And it was inspired by playing at BB King's in Memphis and that whole feeling down there. It's, you know, it's just kind of a funky blues groove. It just feels good to play all the time. That's all.
Come on and shake it. Shake it all night long. Come on and shake it, yeah. Shake it all night long. Shake it for the man. You got no backbone. Something right there. How about the orchestra, ladies and gentlemen?